What is up, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I am so excited to be filming a couple videos, and I'm going to separate these into two separate videos because I don't want them to get too long, but they are my monthly resets that I will be doing in 2022 and my reset for 2022. So this video is going to be the reset for 2022. I'm just going to start planning out some of my personal and financial goals for the year of 2022, and I will show you guys what I am budgeting for my yearly budget, as well as laying out my goals personally and for just lifestyle goals, professional goals, and everything. And I'll be going through those and how I'm going to track them throughout the year. If you're new to my channel, I am going to be doing a lot more personal finance videos. I am beginning a low buy year in 2022, so this budgeting and planning and resetting for the new year is also all part of that for the new year. To start off the video, this is something that I like to do. You don't have to do this at all. I just want to try it and see how much it helps me, but I'm going to create a little vision board desktop background. I figure I don't really need to show you guys how to make these. You basically just need to create a pic collage on Canva or pic collage and set it as your desktop screensaver. I am going to do one and kind of mix in all my little financial, personal budgeting, personal and professional goals into that desktop screensaver, so it can just serve as a daily reminder of what my goals are and what I want to come back to every day. But before we can do the vision board, we definitely have to write out the 22 goals that we have for 2022. Last year I wrote out 21 goals that I have for 2021, and I will be doing that again, except 22 for this year. So I actually have a couple journals that I use throughout the year. I have one gray journal that I just use to write a bunch of notes in. That is just a blank notebook, and I've had it for the last couple of years. I don't daily journal, so that's why I don't like to use a new journal every year, because I think that's wasteful. But I do have a new little planner journal for 2022 with all my goals, and this is one I don't plan on using every day, but I think is good for just a spread. And it just has the date here and some other notes and areas that I can write in, like contents, page number, and I'm just going to organize this into a couple different sections for goals that I have. So I think the first one I'm going to do is just all my general 2022 goals, and then I'm going to list out some of those financial goals as well as my YouTube goals. So here are my 2022 goals. There are 22 goals that kind of revolve around YouTube, financing, professional goals, and just personal goals that I will go through now. So I'm going to go through these goals very, very quickly, but I don't feel the need to dive into them super hardcore because they're for me, and hopefully they will inspire any kind of financial or personal, professional goals for you. So the first one is to practice Korean every day. I already do this a few days a week, but I want to make it a regular practice. I have said this before, but whenever I do transition jobs, whenever that is, I want to be able to take a solo trip to Korea or one with my mom and be able to do pretty well in the country without my mom's help in communicating. And I don't know, I have no plans to change jobs anytime soon, but whenever that is, whether that's in a few years or not, I just want to make sure my Korean is up to par. The second one is to read 24 books. I got pretty close to this. I believe I read about 20 books this year, which, coming from someone who doesn't or who didn't really read before, other than what was required at school or, you know, the really, really popular books that were going on, this is a very achievable goal, I think, moving forward. 20 books was a big deal for me last year, and I got more into audiobooks as well, so I want to keep this up going into 2022. This YouTube goal is to upload once a week. I've said this so many years, but I really think that this year is going to be the one. I have moved this camera angle so many times, so I really, really hope this works. My third goal is to upload once a week. I've said this so many years on YouTube, but I really, really hope that I actually do it this year. I have the time and the drive and just the want to do it more for myself. I felt like I kind of lost myself last year, just with like a lot of different things going on in my life, graduating, relationship wise, and moving to a new city. And with a 9-to-5 job, oh sorry, there's a rainbow outside my room, I just noticed that. Anyway, with a 9-to-5 job, it is great, but when you're working from home, it is hard to create a good schedule for yourself, I think, when it comes to work. And I feel like adding in YouTube would also just keep me more accountable with work and my side hustles as well. So that is why I want this to be a goal. I also miss creating and being creative outside of a corporate sense. So that is why I am trying to upload more, because I like doing it. The next YouTube goal is to hit 8,000 subscribers. I don't know if this will happen. I haven't really grown on YouTube in a while because I just don't really post much, but I'd love to grow, and I think that growing on YouTube would signify that I would only happen if I was actually posting a lot. And it's more of a challenge for me to keep myself accountable, because I keep coming back to YouTube because I realize I have this platform. I have like 6,000 subscribers, which is really small compared to most YouTubers, but when you think about it, like the amount of people that is for someone who's just like a normal person and not an influencer or anything, it's like a good amount of people. And so I like that I have these people watching my videos, and I might as well create content that is interesting and just a challenge to see if, you know, uploading often and being consistent and passionate about what I'm doing actually yields some results. The next one is to be active or mindful daily, just like exercising every day or like meditating. I find that it's just a great time of the day to just take time for yourself. The next one is to take more UX courses. Now that I'm not in school, I just want to make sure I'm always learning in my profession, and there's so many user experience courses out there online that I'd love to try out. Next is updating my UX portfolio / resume monthly. There's a lot of new projects that I work on, and just I'm constantly evolving as a work professional and just as a person, and I think my website should reflect that, considering that, you know, anyone can see my website at any time. I don't want it to be outdated. The next one is to save $1,500 a month. I believe that this is an attainable goal. I am really lucky. I don't have debt, and I really should be saving, and I have a rainy day fund, but I want to be saving to possibly own a house one day, and I have bigger goals now. The next goal that I have is to invest in a property with my parents. This is a big goal. I don't know how feasible it is because I don't have a ton of money saved, but I would like to invest in property with them just to see if we can. That's something we've been talking about. I don't know if that will actually ever happen, but it's a goal because that is what I'm saving for. I want to own a home one day, and I want to get into like real estate. I think it's a really interesting area where you can grow and learn a lot about money. This is more of a personal goal, but just to say no to anything that I actually don't want to do. I'm such a yes person and a people pleaser, and I'm tired of doing that. It's really exhausting. So this is all part of adulting and recognizing when it's okay to put yourself first. Next is responding versus reacting to situations. I also think this is something that comes with adulting. In college, it was really hard when it came to issues with roommates or just friends, relationships, but now that I'm in a more settled and balanced state of life, I know that this is a good time to practice those things. I think it all goes with mindfulness and just not being as reactive and having more control over your feelings. The next one is to be the healthiest version of myself. I mean this mainly in a physical / like health sense. I don't want to put any like number goals for like losing weight or anything like that. More just I want to eat food that fuels my body, that makes me happy. I really like cooking and doing things like that, so that is why that is a goal. Next is having confidence in my relationships. This is something that I get insecure about a lot, and I think it's because I really value my friendships, And I have a good amount of friendships from like high school and college, and I just really care about maintaining them. And I think like when you're introducing friends to other friends and circles are getting mixed, it can feel like you're getting lost and things are changing. But just having confidence in the relationships that you have, whether they're like long distance friendships or the ones with you nearby, just being really cognizant of that and knowing that people aren't meant to be in your life if they are reaching out to you and cut you some slack sometimes and call you out on things when you need to be called out for. Next is a personal goal of cooking a new dish 4 times a month, basically like once a week. Like I said, I've been cooking a lot more now that I have my own apartment with my roommate. I cook like 4 or 5 days a week, and then we usually go out on the weekend or get takeout, but I would love to do a new dish once a week. I'm trying to expand my cooking repertoire of skills. The next one is to strengthen and build new friendships. Like I said, I moved to San Francisco. The main friends I hang out with are from college, which are great because a lot of them I wasn't super close to in college, even though I knew them. So I want to strengthen those friendships. And then there are a bunch of new people in San Francisco that I've met, and I want to strengthen those relationships. I think it's really easy to get drinks or get dinner or coffee with someone and not follow up. And I want to follow up and further those friendships. This next one is a really big goal for me. It's to create more structure when you're working from home. So as someone who works entirely remotely, it's really hard when all the days blend together, and to create structure and figure out when you should work out, when should you make lunch, you don't really have a lunch. Like separating the day out into chunks so that you know when you're most productive, when you can work on your personal goals or personal things like fitness, and when you should be actually working, and figuring out what hours are most productive for you. Number 17 is taking control of my finances. This whole like low buy goal and also this video, all of these things I think are going to challenge me to really take control of my money. I don't think I really had a problem before, but I mentioned this in my how to stop shopping video. I have sort of been saving without really trying, but I could save a lot more if I was more intentional with where my money was going. Next, this goes with the last one. It's just limit impulse buying. No more purchasing things at late at night on my phone. No, if I want something, I should sit on it for a week or two and see, do I actually really want this item, or is it just trendy? This kind of goes with that. It is curating a closet full of pieces that I actually love, and I think this happens over time and is not something that happens when you just go to Zara every week and are buying the newest item that is released. It's called fast fashion for a reason. So just, you know, looking at more vintage pieces, thrifting, and actually buying from retailers that I really truly support and have been eyeing. Number 20 is limiting my phone usage to 10 minutes in bed in the morning and night. When I'm on my phone longer than 10 minutes at night, I get anxious and it wires me, and then I can't go back to sleep. So really limiting this to like responding to maybe a couple emails in the morning or texts that I need to do, and just not going on social media before bed and right when I wake up, because it immediately creates anxiety. Next is creating a paycheck routine. That is a type of video that I want to start filming on this channel. I think something that I realized with post-grad is that nobody teaches you how to save actually, and how to manage each paycheck, and I'm navigating this on my own, and I'd love to create videos on this if it could be helpful for anyone. I'm going to be doing this in the next month and in this next video for my monthly reset, kind of showing you how I've been beginning to break down my paychecks, but that is something I'm trying to keep myself accountable for. And lastly, it's just getting back into the hustle and grind of things. I hustled so much in college. I was constantly stressed to the point where I was really anxious and having like breakdowns all the time and calling my mom from school. I don't want that to happen, but I'm almost at the point where I just don't feel challenged, and I think I'm very lucky that my 9-to-5 job is an actual 9-to-5, and I'm not used to having the rest of the day after 5 p.m. to kind of do my own thing and not have homework. And so when I say I want to get back into the hustle and grind of things, that includes YouTube. Like, where is all my time going outside of work? Am I allocating that time towards bettering myself, whether that's personal development, listening to podcasts, reading books, creating videos on YouTube, or am I just sitting around watching TV? So that is what I mean about getting back into the hustle of things. Like, I want to be productive with my time. Obviously I should have moments for breaks and things like that, but there were a lot of break moments in the last year, and I think shopping went with that. And it's just really easy to have a very passive lifestyle instead of a very like active lifestyle. So that concludes my 2022 goals. And now I'm going to write out some of my financial goals and YouTube goals, which I don't think I'm going to really go through because I don't know how relatable that is, but I'm going to now show you all my monthly spreadsheet. So I'm still working on creating more of these financial goals, but this is what I've come up with so far. Saving about $2,000 a month, or collectively $24,000 for the whole year. Doing a no buy month. I'm already doing a low buy, but can I not spend anything on things that are not necessities? Next, bi-weekly paycheck check-ins. I already touched on this. And then reflecting on my financial spending and seeing if the way I'm spending is actually aligning with my goals. So we're going to go through the little budget that I have. Watch the monthly reset video if you want to see how I break up my paychecks and how I reset for the new month. But since we're going over overall goals here, I am first showing you my subscriptions page. So I just lay out all of the subscriptions that I have, and here you can see I need to put down the amount that each of these memberships costs, how often I'm being charged for them on my credit card, and when the renewal date is, so that I can keep track every month and make sure I'm not missing any of those important dates if I want to cancel a subscription or if I want to renew one. Now, moving on to the 2022 budget spreadsheet page. Here I am outlining all of my spending and then also all of my savings contributions. So as you can see here, I've outlined for expenses. These are the main expenses that I can think of every month outside of fixed costs that are like necessities. So things like subscriptions, groceries, takeout, coffee shops, restaurants, personal shopping, gifts, events, and holidays. These are all things where like the amount that I allocate to each of these months could be different depending on if I'm traveling. If it's Christmas time, maybe I'm spending a lot more on gifts for other people. If it's the summertime, maybe I'm going out a bit more. So these are just all things to keep track of, and I can kind of now go through and budget. Okay, subscriptions, I think, you know, monthly it probably costs like $30. I don't have any really big subscription amounts. Groceries, I'm gonna guess like $250, but that could be a little too high, too low, and I will adjust this depending on what makes the most sense. Takeout, I don't get that much takeout, so I'm gonna say $50, probably like twice a month. And then coffee shops, I probably go to coffee shops twice a week because I try to work at a coffee shop once or twice a week, so maybe $50. San Francisco is really expensive, so each cup of coffee is like $6. This might be a little low, but we'll see. Restaurants, now for some people, they spend their money on a lot of drinks. I'm definitely someone that spends a lot of money on going out and buying food with my friends. That's kind of the way that I socialize. I like to go out to eat rather than go out to drink. So restaurants are where a big part of my money goes. So if I go to like 1 or 2 dinners a month, that's almost like $400 a month. And for me, that makes sense because that's the only way I've been like meeting up with people. I'm gonna budget $400. That probably seems like a lot to some people. Again, I might adjust this as I go. Personal shopping, I'd like this to not exceed $200. So that includes like if I need to buy more lipstick or soap for the bathroom, toothpaste, whatever. And also if I wanted to buy myself a new perfume or a piece of clothing that I wanted, that is all going to go in that $200 category. So I have some like necessities in that category for like toiletries that I need, and then anything additional, my cap is $200. Gifts, in January, there's no one that I can think of that has a birthday in January where you need to be buying anyone a gift. So I'm gonna allocate, well, I'll just say $100 a month usually, even though in January I don't think I will. Events and holidays, no, I do have a trip for the next few months every month, so I'm gonna just add an extra $200 for trips. And miscellaneous, there's nothing I can really think of for that. So that is how I am budgeting for every month, kind of just looking at like my rough estimation. And then as you can see below, or as you can see next to it, I will now go through, not now, but eventually go through and write out how much I actually incurred expense-wise for each month in each of these categories. So then we have monthly savings contribution, and here my starting balance, I think savings-wise, I think I'm gonna have about 9,000 in here. The goal is to save 24,000 on top of that. So we'll see what I save in here. $9,000 is the amount that I have, that I'm planning on moving from my income that I've saved into my savings account soon. And that doesn't include my rainy day fund. For me, my rainy day fund is about $6,000 because I think that covers about a few months. That's about, actually $6,000 might not be enough. 3 months of living expenses in San Francisco. My rent is about $2K, so that's already that. So maybe I want to keep maybe 9,000 in my, as my rainy day fund. So I'm thinking $5,000 I'll move. Yeah, I'll move $5,000 because I have about 14,000 lying in my checking account that I'm about to move over. So I think I'll move 5,000 over to my savings account. And my savings account for me personally is all going towards a house eventually. So that is kind of my house fund. And then the remaining 9,000 is for my rainy day fund. So what that means is I have that money readily available in case like I lose my job or something like crazy happens where I need to live off of that. That's livable for me for a few months. So that is how I'm going to do that. I would like to contribute about $1,500 a month to this end of month balance. So hopefully this will say $6,500 by the end of January. And yeah, that is basically how I have separated out my budget for 2022. I think it makes the most sense for me. I plan on checking on this budget at the end of every month and adding in what I've actually incurred expense-wise and lining it up together and looking at it with my goals and seeing how much they align. I use the app Mint currently, but I'm thinking of moving it over to every dollar. I like to digitally see what's going on, having something automated tracking my accounts, but then I also like writing it all out on Excel just because it makes it really easy to see it all, and sometimes those apps don't track everything. And now I'm just setting it up as my desktop background, and here it is. So we have books for my reading goal, ramen to indicate me learning Korean because ramen's one of my favorite foods and it's Korean. Then we have money because we're saving, we're being personal finance baddies. I have an image of New York because eventually I think that would be the next city I'd like to move in. I have weights here and this little smoothie just to indicate once again being healthy. I have an image here of an iPhone with a YouTube symbol on it because I'm trying to be better about posting on YouTube. Here I have the image of clothing that is curated to reflect my style. And then you can't really see well here, but this is an image of mock-ups to symbolize me studying more UX. Here, this is an image of me, or not me, but but an image of someone meditating for mindfulness, and this is an image of French toast to indicate how I want to cook more this year. 4 times a month, new dish. There you have it. I hope you all enjoyed my little 2022 reset video, and I hope I gave you some inspiration on how you can start writing out some goals and planning for the new year, as well as writing out your savings goals, money goals, personal finance goals. And I will leave a link to this spreadsheet if anyone wants to use it to organize their goals. I'll have a copy of the one that I use and I will share that. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and are excited, because I'm going to be coming out with monthly reset videos every month, as well as a paycheck routine and what I'm doing to make sure I'm staying on my low buy year. So if that sounds interesting to you, make sure you stick around, subscribe, and yeah, I will see you guys sooner or later. Cheers!
When you're only making $10 every 60 minutes, let's clock out, you and me, wander around West County, take my hand, shop and see, only get paid hourly, we can carpool, I can drive, listening to Jackson 5, we can make it, we'll survive, though we might be sleep deprived.